Welcome back. Episode 8 of Silo has just dropped, titled Hanna, which is all about Juliet's mom. This episode was filled with tension and towards the end had some shocking twists, which we actually called in our deep dive Silocast. As always, spoilers ahead for episode 8. The episode starts off with Hanna and Jules as they stand in a field of corn doing dodgy deals with a farmer. It turns out to be a trade for a rabbit in a box and initially creates some questions, which later are answered. Sims makes a deal with Gloria by offering her to always be with her dreams, and here Gloria gives some key details that Juliet does have a hard drive, and in my eyes she turns out to be a lousy flamekeeper. Does Sims show a more emotional side here by talking about his 6-year-old child? And is this a reminder to us about his child for a future episode? Could this be a bargaining chip for Jules? Jules attempts to access this red level relic, yet struggles, needing the highest level of access, system operator. This does then start to make us question how George and Alison were able to access the drive originally. It's listed off later in the episode that only certain computers and individuals would have the level of access. Does this mean George found a way to hack terminals in the silo? And I also assume this means Martha will know how to do it. We get more flashbacks of her mom, which sounds like she's trying to help a rabbit through surgery and through the use of a magnifying glass, something that could benefit the silo. 2 raids are happening, one at the police station by present day Judicial and the other as a flashback at Juliet's house as she's raided and the magnifying relic broken in front of their very eyes.
No!
Here we believe that the dad is ratting them out, but actually, as it turns out later on, he's not, and that it's connected to the cameras in the house. Again though, this still leaves a major question open. Why are they not allowed to have microscopes? It does also finally tell us what ailment Jacob, Juliet's brother, had, which was a hole in the heart. This then leads me to question, has the silo been limiting the enhancement in technology across the board? Why would you not want to be able to cure people of certain illnesses if they are within your capability? The only conclusion I can draw at this moment, they're doing some kind of eugenics in hopes of one day repopulating the world. A huge power move now in a completely unexpected scene where Sims is arrested here, breaking the rules of the pact.
Section 14, subsection 3, paragraph 12. Section 23, subsection 19, paragraph 6.
You sure you want to do this?
Juliet discovers secret files about her mom and then ends up having a conversation with her dad where they both share a heartwarming moment for once as they believe each other about the whispers and the listeners at the silo. This shows us they have more in common than previously thought. Because of Juliet's actions, there are no checkpoints on the staircase of the silo, showing us the true control of Judicial. In a previous episode, it was mentioned that another pact rule was you were not able to create motorised ways up and down the silo. And we asked why. I think this scene clears up the reason. Not only is it used to limit how quickly people can get up and down, but also it's now clear that the raiders could easily block off a floor at the stairs with very little manpower needed to actually enforce it. Juliet has to seek the help of Lucas, who declines, but now knows about the cameras in the houses. Could this be how the rebellion continues? Is he a future game changer in the silo? As we approach the final scenes of the episode, we learn that Bernard is not a good guy, but he in fact is the top bad guy. And not only had he set up George, but also claims that Jules asked to go out. Which I would like to add has been called from day one by Ben over on the Silocast. He was most certainly saying "I told you so" when that scene played. We haven't heard about the cleaning ever since Deputy Hulston. This scene had me on the edge of my seat, completely unexpected. Juliet is arrested in the same field of corn we started with. She makes her way through the silo, being escorted by Judicial and Sims. How did he get out of jail? Was this Bernard? Or did he sweet talk one of the officers. Here, Juliet clearly takes advantage of Billings' illness and makes a break for it, grabbing the hard drive from Sims, and in an absolute mad decision, jumps off the silo staircase. And that is how we end our episode. Well, what an episode. Clearly, the writers have kicked the suspense into overdrive. I cannot wait for episode 9. And although this episode didn't have as many twists as the previous, I think adding the backstory to Jules' mother was very much needed, finally answering our questions on why she made the magnifying device in the first place. She mentions fixing the hole in the rabbit's heart. Does this mean that Hanna was actually a surgeon? Or did Dr. Nichols do that part? They left that open for us to decide. Overall though, I think it was a great episode, and I think things have now been set into motion for the final 2 episodes. I think we're going to see the Flame Keepers rise again. I believe Lucas will start to spread the word of the cameras in the mirrors. Not only that, but when Juliet is being marched up the stairs and punched by Sims, it seems a few residents noticed. But the best clue that was dropped in a blink and you'll miss it moment, Walker is talking to a fellow maintenance person and mentioned the reason they were down there was punishment for the rebellion, leading me to believe maintenance are the relatives of the Flame Keepers. So I think our final episode will be a confrontation between maintenance and the raiders. As I've mentioned already, myself and Ben do a weekly silo cast where we dive a little deeper into some of the scenes from the episode. We also give you our weekly theory and an update to how our ideas are changing as the show progresses. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, come back and catch it in a couple of days' time. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, catch you next time with something new.